Okay, folks, this is Scott Pyle with Four Color Studios. I am here to do a quick playtest battle of Super Skirmish Gaming, my new superhero skirmish RPG that I am working on. Hopefully to be released in a couple of months here. So what I'm doing today is I'm just doing a video to kind of illustrate how the rules work in a simple engagement. There's not going to be a lot of fancy stuff going on here, but I will employ some of the pre-battle stuff just so you get a feel for at least a few of the aspects that go into characters and rules and how they interact. This battle will be a test of 4 minor characters against 1 major character, the major character being the mighty Thor, the god of thunder. He will be facing off in a rather strange battle against a quartet of Serpent Society members led by Sidewinder, ably aided by the Asp, Puff Adder, providing a little bit of muscle, and finally Rattler, providing a mix of ranged striking ability and a little bit of close-up fighting ability as well. So they are minor characters, as I stated. I've got my crude sheets here done for them, and I've also got one for Thor, as you can see. So got that ready. Got my playtest rules document, which it's always a struggle to flip through and look things up in the playtest. So bear with me if there are kind of dead zone moments where I'm struggling to remember something or find something. It's new to me now as well, and as I continue to get great feedback from everybody who's been reading the rules and testing them, I'm changing things and trying to fine tune things. So. It'll be a little bit of an adventure here. I don't do a lot of videos, so this is kind of new, and it'll be interesting. Thor will be using the red dice, 3d6, and the Serpent Society will be using the yellow dice, 3d6. These bigger dice I'm going to use to keep track of any extra fate points they generate in the subplot phase, which we're about to do. So this is just going to be a simple slugfest engagement, and it'll be just kind of a get-to-know-you sort of, this is how the rules work affair. So we'll see if Thor can rightfully smite these 4 criminal serpents in a moment here. All right, so let's do the subplot phase of our program here. So that requires us to roll a 1d6 to randomly determine who on each team is involved in the subplot. Now, for Thor, it's obviously just going to be him because he is the only one on his team. And the Serpent Society, we have 4 choices. So we'll ignore any results of 1 to 5. Sidewinder will be 1. The Asp will be 2, Rattler will be 3, and Puff Adder will be 4. So 3, it is going to be Rattler. He'll be involved. And Rattler's backgrounds are criminal and military. He obviously spent some time in the German military, Gustav Kruger. I believe that's his real name. Let's see. Thor's backgrounds are alien dimensional, exploration, and military. So the 2 do share one background, and that could be interesting if things break the right way here. So next up in this process is to determine which background we're actually going to roll against. So let me just quickly check the rules here. I'll just read them. Okay, so we're going to roll a d6 on this little table here to determine which background we're going to pick, which trio of backgrounds we get to pick from. So rolling for Thor. So Thor could pick from Alien dimensional, arcane, or art? Well, he's definitely alien dimensional, so because of his Asgardian heritage, so he'll be picking that one to roll against. And when you get to pick, when you have a background that matches one of the ones that you roll, your target number goes from 13 to 11 on your background check, which is significant in a 3d6 system. So now we're also going to roll for Rattler. And I got a 6, and that's public safety, science, or wild. So he is going to have to roll on one of those, and he doesn't really have any of them because, as I said, he's criminal or military. So let's do Thor first. So for alien dimensional, you have to figure out which stats match up with that one. Mind or will. So Thor has a great will of +3. So we're going to roll that will of +3 for Thor. Here we go. +3. That's actually going to be a 3d6 check. 3d6 +3 for Thor. He needs a target number 11 because he shares the background, alien dimensional, with the one he rolled. So that's 9, 12, 15. So he succeeds, and I'm going to write that down for him because that's going to matter here in a second. Just noting that he got a 15. And then Kruger, or Rattler's best option of his choices. We'll go with wild, body, and perception. He's got a body of +2, so he's got to beat a target number 13, and he's got a +2. So he needs at least an 11 on 3d6. And he crushes it, scores the double bonus, which doesn't actually help him here in this instance, but he gets a 16 +2 is an 18 total. I'm going to note that down for him because I'm going to quickly flip back to that section and read through it here. Once you know which characters are driving the subplots for an issue, and you know which backgrounds are in play by rolling on the table above, each character picks one of the backgrounds, which is what we did to check against. This is either target number 11 or 13 check, as I explained to you, depending on whether or not the character has the matching background. Every 2 result levels scored on the relevant stat check grant the character's team +1 fate for its subplot pool for the game. Okay, so every 2 result levels equals a fate point, extra fate point that you have available to you to burn in the pinch, in the clutch. So Rattler got an 18. His target number was a 13. He beat it by 5. So every 2 result levels. So his team gets 2 fate. So I'm going to take my big old D6 and put a 2 on it there. I'll just put that right there. And to remind me that they have 2 fate brewing if they need it. And then Thor, he got a 15. His target number was 11, so that's 4 result levels, 2 per fate. So he also earns 2 fate for himself, and he may need it being outnumbered like this, but we'll see here in a second. All right. Okay. Quickly prepare some initiative chits here. I realize I forgot to do that. That is not a problem. It doesn't take long. We only have 5 participants. So the way initiative works in Super Skirmish Gaming, also in Techno Fantasy Adventures, which is a rule set that shares the bones that this game is being built on, you just need a number of chits equal to the number of models in the game. And I had these chits made up on Etsy for just this occasion here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if in the course of a game another model would somehow show up, because some scenarios or powers can actually generate another model showing up, you just need to throw another chit in for that initiative where that new model shows up, and then you'll draw. We'll see how initiative works here in a second. All right. So, got my chits, got my handy chit bag, which is a dice bag. Thank you, Ian. Friend of mine, excellent craftsman. So we put our chits in the bag, and we'll get to that in a second, because we're almost ready to start with round one here. Okay, so I'm gonna dispense with any fancy placement of models or whatever. I'm basically just gonna start each group in the opposite corner. This is a 3x3 board, 36 inch by 36 inch mat. Put Thor way over here in the corner, and you'll see in a second that once Thor starts moving, he has power pool, which is meant to model his Mjolnir, his hammer, and that power pool gives him a number of different power sets he can choose from, and super movement flight essentially is one of his options in several of those sets. So he'll be able to quickly get from that corner over to here, and basically we're gonna have a little MacGuffin here in the center of the board that has to be fought over by this crew, by these two opposing forces, Thor on one side and the Serpent Society cadre on the other. And I'm going to say that it requires a special action to pick this token up, but you can't just pick it up. The stranger has put a weird energy field around it, and so you have to make a successful mind check, target number 13 mind check, and you actually need to collect 6 result levels to actually capture the item. And that will require a special action to do. It doesn't have to be over consecutive turns. You could try to collect some, you've essentially figured out part of the puzzle, and then maybe smite someone and then come back and try to collect some more. And either team can do that as they vie for control of this objective. So we have our very simple MacGuffin that we're fighting over. I've just suggested that the stranger's involved. Of course, he's one of those cosmic space, Marvel space gods. He's always showing up and stirring the pot, so to speak. Okay, let's just get started here and jump in, shall we? See what happens. See how many rounds we can go with this thing before Thor or his foes triumph. Okay. All right. So what I've done is I've put my chits, 5 chits, 1 for each character, in this bag, and I'm going to blind draw them at the beginning of each round. I'm going to alternate sides and blind draw them. So I'm first going to draw for Thor, and I have drawn a number 1 for him. So I'm going to put that way over here on him. Then I'm going to go with the first Serpent Society guy. We'll say it's Sidewinder. He goes on 3. And if Thor had more members on his team, we would go back and forth on this one. But these folks are basically all going to get chits now because they're the only ones left. So Asp gets a 5. She goes last. And Rattler is going on 4. So that means we know Puff Adder is going to go on a 2. Okay? So those are placed. Now, one thing I need to try and remind myself of as we play this game is Sidewinder is he's a commander archetype, and he has the command power, and that actually can let him during a pivotal moment of the game. Not now, not on the first round, because it would be a waste to use it then. That would let him draw 2 chits for someone of his choice, including himself, and take the better of the 2 and put the other one back in the draw bag, and then that one would go to somebody else. So that's an important ability that can change the order of a battle in a round and really shake things up. It's limited in its uses. You can only use it once per game, unless you roll the double bonus on the check, because it also requires a check to use, if I recall correctly. So, and we'll be sorting through this playtest document a lot this game as we kind of work through some of these powers and issues. Cutting through any of these is going to be difficult ground. Any of these bases, it's particularly dense jungle. This is, like I said, in a weird jungle area, maybe in South America, maybe somewhere else, but also you can see there's some strange plants. Now, there are rules for creating dangerous terrain, but we're not going to do that now. We're just going to kind of use these as difficult ground as well. So we'll also say, if somebody wanted to use it, that this pillar could be a super club. It's nice to put stuff on the terrain board that is actually wieldable by characters, because if a character has telekinesis or super strength, they can actually pick stuff up and smash each other with it. It's one of the hallmarks of all the super games I do. So, and it's a trope of the genre that you need to address, definitely, to have a real representative super game. Okay, so we know who's first. It is the mighty Thor. So he has Mjolnir, which is his power pool, and he has a number of power sets available to him. So he will use, let's see. Yeah, he'll use power set 1 this round, and it's a free action. Each round you can switch to a new power set. So he is going to use set 2, which is has a ranged attack and super move flight in it. Okay, so that basically gives him, since he is a major character, a lot of the powers are the effect of the power is actually based on your character's rank. So if you have a major character like Thor and he takes flight, he's going to get to move 30 inches, versus a minor character who had flight might only get to move 18 inches. Now, there are certain special effects you can take, extras or limits to increase or decrease those abilities, no matter what rank you are. But in this case, Thor just has plain old 30 inches worth of flight. So he is going to fly from that corner. And we see here, he has more than enough room. I think I'm just going to perch him on top of this weird arcane obelisk here. I'm going to pull his shit back because he doesn't need it anymore. We know he's going here first this round. So he's whirling Mjolnir in the air. He lands on this obelisk. He can see the Serpent Society members from his current vantage point. However, he does have a range attack, but it's only 24-inch range, and that is going to be, well, we'll say actually that he is in range of Sidewinder here, just barely. So he will target him, but I'm going to give Sidewinder the benefit of that cover, so that's going to actually give him a +1. Could be very important. +1 can mean a lot in this one. So Thor had a move action, and now he gets a combat or a special action. That's kind of how the game goes. You can take up to 3 free actions, and then there are a number of reactions that you can do during other models' turns. But during your turn, you get up to 3 free actions, which he used one of those to pick his power set. And then you get a move action, which he did. He moved, he flew, he landed. And then you get a combat or a special action. In this case, Thor, being the bellicose individual he is going to strike first. He's going to call some lightning down on Sidewinder, because he knows from looking at enough Avengers files that this guy's up to no good. Meanwhile, Sidewinder, nobody told them that they would be fighting Thor here in the jungles of South America, so he's a little bit bemused by that realization as he sees him land on the obelisk. But hey, the stranger gave them a job, and they're going to do it. They're being handsomely paid. So Sidewinder has a dodge of +2. Thor has a shoot of +2. Thor is a great fighter, only a decent shooter. So this actually isn't so bad for Sidewinder as long as the dice aren't too unkind to him. He also gets +1 for this jungle foliage, which is kind of blocking Thor's view a little bit. So we're going to roll this out and see what happens. Combined roll here to figure out what's going on. Okay, so good news here. Good news. Thor rolled double ones and a 3, so that's a 5. He gets a 7 total. Meanwhile, Sidewinder rolled a 7, 10, +3, including the cover, gets 13. He easily evades Thor's lightning bursts. And there's another little thing that I need to check here, because Thor is his power pool has the power item limiter on it, which limits the number of powers that can be in it, but I think it also has an interesting little G's or limit to it, a weakness to it, which kind of reflects some of the history of the Thor character. So I'm going to dig that up. I think it's worth digging it up here, so bear with me for a second as I flip through this playtest document printed in 8-point font. Okay, here we go. All right. Yes. Power item. Your power pool is tied to a specific item, a suit of armor, enchanted weapon, power ring, etc. If you roll double ones or double twos on any dice check using the powers your item grants you, you immediately lose access to your power pool until the beginning of your next turn. You can then spend a special action, no dice roll needed, to restore your item to working order. This reduces the cost of your power pool slot by 1. So, right away, something has gone awry with Mjolnir. Maybe Thor has angered Odin in some manner. Who knows what the backstory is? And the great thing about this game is you can just come up with it on the fly. But anyway, suddenly the storm clouds break. It's sunny again in the jungle, and Thor will have to use a special action if he wants access to Mjolnir again. This game doesn't require any dice rolling, but he's going to essentially waste a combat special action next turn to restore it. Okay, Puff Adder. He is number 2, so he is going to go now. Puff Adder has a movement of 6. So let's see here. His powers are pretty simple. Super strength. He has a ranged attack with limited range that's got kind of like a poison ongoing damage effect, and he is massive. So he's going to move 6 inches to here, and then he's going to charge 3 more inches, because when you charge, you get to basically add 3 inches to your move. If you charge and happen to end your move in base contact with a foe, then you get +1 to a melee attack against them. Didn't happen though. He's just using a charge to cover extra ground here. 3, Sidewinder. So Sidewinder is actually a facilitator in more ways than one. He uses his high-tech cape device to actually teleport allies. So he is going to, that's another version of super movement. So he is going to see if he can teleport along with an ally to get them closer. Let me just quickly flip here and check. So yeah, being a minor character, his base move with super movement is only 18 inches, but it's certainly better than trundling along at 6 inches per turn. So he's got to make a target number 11 body, mind, or will check to activate it each round. Should have done that for Thor, I forgot. We'll try to remember that next round. Sidewinder's got a goodwill, though, of 3. And he easily activates that ability. And I'm going to say that Rattler is close enough that he can bring him along with him. Yeah, so they're gonna bump forward 18 inches or so. And what that is going to do, where's that going? we'll take him, we'll just go 16 to here. So he folds space, brings Rattler along with him. Don't forget Rattler's initiative chit. And so now Rattler will be in a position to attack. That's it for Sidewinder this round. And now Rattler's going to go. Rattler is going to try to get in position and blast Thor. He has a ranged attack with his tail. And yep, it's +2 damage ranged attack. That is since he's a minor character, it's a 12-inch range. When you purchase the ranged attack power for a character, if you're a major character, it's 24 inches in range. If you're standard character, it's 18, and if you're minor, it's 12. So you can always pre-measure in this game. So he's already in range. He'll just nudge up a little bit to get in front of his boss to kind of protect him. And Thor's up on that obelisk, that strange obelisk, and Rattler's going to blast him. So we'll see how this plays out. Rattler has a shoot of +2. Thor has a dodge of +2. And so we're going to see how this goes. Again, Rattler yellow dice, Thor red dice. And we'll see what comes up. Oh, Thor had a solid roll there, but that 1 kind of negates it. So that's a 5, 5, that's an 11. Thor got a 13. But moreover, Rattler just hit what we call is the double bonus. So anytime you roll double 6s, usually, some powers can augment it to a double 5 and a double 6. But natively, it's just a double 6. So if you roll a double 6 on your result, which we've done here, Rattler's done, he has a 6, 6, that's 12, plus 3 is 15, plus his shooting is a +2, so he has a total of 18. Versus Thor, who got an 11, 13. So he beats Thor by 5. So that's 5 damage right away. It's a +2 damage attack because it's a minor ranged attack. So that's 7 damage. Now, there are some special abilities keyed to powers by the double bonus. But just generally, if you hit the double bonus on attack, it's another +2 damage. So Thor has taken 9 damage from the vibro attack from Rattler's tail. So normally I would mark the 9 damage down. Now as a major character, Thor has 25 health. So he would be losing 9. But Thor is an Asgardian. He is made of sterner stuff than a mere mortal. So he has one of his built-in powers not related to Mjolnir is his super strength, and he has damage resistance. So his damage resistance as a major character is -3. So in this game, damage resistance can represent, uncanny ability to dodge. It can represent super tough hide. It can represent any number of other things, a sixth sense like radar sense or spider sense, anything like that. In this case, Thor's just tough. He's a good fighter. He has dense Asgardian musculature, and he's a great fighter. So instead of taking 9, he takes 6. But that's significant because he's now going from 25 to 19. I'm marking that on his card. That's a good shot, a good early shot in by the Serpent Society on Thor. And then we have the Asp to go on number 5. Asp is another ranged attacker. Again, minor character. Her ranged attack is a 12-inch range attack, so she's going to try to move up 6 to here. And she's not going to be able to get close enough to Thor, so she's just going to charge maneuver. She's going to go 3 here and get in position next round to do, hopefully pile on Thor and do some damage. Really bad turn of luck for Thor, losing the ability to wield Mjolnir. But we'll sally on. Okay, so it's going to be a new round. We're going to take our chits and we're going to put them Back in the bag, in the draw bag. I'm going to shake it up. Last round I drew first for Thor. This round I'm going to draw first for the Serpent Squad, Serpent Society, and I will give the first one to, we'll say Rattler. Rattler is 3. Okay, so now we're going back and forth. Thor, oh boy, Thor's 5. So he's got some attacks to weather here. Sidewinder's a 2. Asp is a 4. And Asp is the character who has the range attack with the ongoing damage, the poison effect, so to speak. So we will we'll see if she can get that in play. Puffadder's first. He has a very limited range, like poisonous mist that he can shoot out of his cowl piece, and I don't know that he's going to get close enough. So he's going to charge forward 9 inches to here to get in position. Maybe he will start to go for the MacGuffin, or actually I think Sidewinder's going to go for the MacGuffin here. So he actually doesn't even need a teleport. So he's going to sidle over, and he is going to make that check that we talked about, target number 13, mind check. And he does have a head for business, but his mind is only a +1. An average human in the game has a stat of +0, so he's above average in terms of his acumen. He's better will. He's very willful. He's a powerful and charismatic leader who's wrangled all these criminals together into an organization. So, but this requires a mind check. So he's at a +1, target number 13. We'll see what we can do here. It's a special action. So he's used his move action. Now he's using a special action. Okay, so I rolled 3, 5, 9 +1 is 10. Not enough. So he cannot sort out the puzzle that is on this cosmic artifact that they're trying to recover. Meanwhile, we already know that Rattler is in range. He's going to take another shot at Thor, same as before. So here we have a +2 shoot against a +2 dodge. Thor hopes he has better luck this time around. In this case, I'm going to play a hunch here. Rattler is going to use one of the team's general fate points. Now, as a minor character, he gets 3 fate of his own. He's going to save those. He's going to use one of the team fate points. And so, if you use a fate point before you roll any dice, it's +2. So he's going to be at a +4 here, and Thor's going to hold serve. He's going to be at a +2. +4 to +2. Oh boy. Well, you know what? It's a good thing Thor rolled that 4 there, because, again, Rattler hit the double bonus, but so did Thor, and Thor's roll is going to be higher. So he got a 6, 6. He got a 16, +2 for his dodge, 18. And Rattler got 12, 16... Oh, sorry, Rattler's yellow. So Rattler got a 12, 13, 17. And Thor got a 16, 18. So Thor beats him 18 to 17. He barely evades a very deadly ranged attack from Rattler. He's gaining a new respect for this otherwise maligned villain. Okay, so moving right along, number 4, we're going to see if the Asp can bring her dangerous ranged snaky powers to bear. She's going to move up 6. She sees Thor up on that obelisk, and she is going to do her thing and try to blast him. She has a shoot of +3. We know Thor's dodge is +2. So Asp, yellow dice +3. Thor, red dice +2. Thor didn't roll so well. This could be bad for him. So that's 9, 11, +3 is 14 for the Asp. And for Thor, he got a 7, 8, he got a 10. So she beats him by 4. Her attack does +2 damage, so that makes it 6. And okay, I also have noted here that it is unsavable. So one of those damage points, since she's a minor character, is going to be unsavable. So Thor would normally only take 4, or he would normally only take, let's see, what'd she get? She beat him by, he got a 12, and she got a 17. So he would normally take 8 minus 3 is 5, but he's going to take 8 minus 2. He takes 6 more. So Thor's, he's got to get Mjolnir back online here. He's already down to 13 health. Okay. All right, so now Thor goes. He could use his special action to get Mjolnir back online, or he could leap into battle. I am going to say that he's going to use that special action. Well, let me see. Let me take a quick look here. Now, you know what? He has reach of 12 inches, which he may have lost access to some of the other aspects of Mjolnir, but he's gonna hurl the hammer and strike someone, because he really needs to start evening the odds a little bit here in this game. But he's gonna basically, it allows him to make a 12-inch fighting attack with his hammer. So that takes advantage of his +4 fight. So he's got reach. It gives him 12 inches, and we know he's in range of any of these characters, basically, if we check. Yeah. He's going to go after Rattler. Rattler has a dodge of 2. Thor has a fight of 4. Thor's going to throw one of those fate points in. He's going to try to load up on this one. So he's +2. So Thor's a +6. Rattler's a +2. Rattler's actually going to spend one of his own fate to negate that. So then it goes back to +4 versus +2. Those two fate will negate each other. So here we go. Okay. Thor may have done some business here. So that's 10, 11, 15 for Thor. 15 for Thor. And Sidewinder got a 5, 6, 8. So he beats Sidewinder by 7. Or not Sidewinder, Rattler. He beats Rattler by 7. And he does +4 damage with his super strength hammer throw. So that's 11 points. And I believe Rattler has damage reduction 1. So Rattler goes from, in one strike, Rattler goes from 15 health to 5 health. And you know what? Thor is also going to knock him back. So this will be a good illustration of how knockback works in the game. So he did 10, ultimately with the damage reduction of 1, he went from 11 to 10. He does 10 points of damage to Rattler. Since Thor is a major character with super strength, that's 3 inches of knockback per damage point inflicted directly away. So he basically knocks Rattler to the edge of the board. And you can't be knocked off the board, so Rattler's got to make a target number 13 check. If he's knocked back, he could take further damage from that. It's a body check. Your body measures your overall athleticism. More discrete powers can add to your body for strength and or agility feats. Right now, this is just Rattler's got a body of 2. He needs to beat a 13. And he gets an 11, 13, 15. Okay, so he lands on his feet, doesn't take any further damage, but he is jacked up, going from 15 health all the way down to 5. So Thor made the right call. There may not be any more rain, storms, or lightning bolts in this battle, but Thor is surely going to make his mark with the more mundane aspects of Mjolnir, which is beating people over the head with it. All right, so we got a new round, whole new round. And I am going to say that this is a pivotal round. Sidewinder is going to invoke his command ability. So bear with me a sec while I look that up. Command. Let's see here. So he's going to make a target number 11 will check. Just so happens we know he's got a +3 will. We were bragging about it earlier. And he nails it. He does not get the double bonus, though, so he can only use it. Remember, the double bonus is double sixes. So this is a good roll, though. He got a 14. He easily makes his target number. So now he is going to... He's going to use Puff Adder. He wants Puff Adder to get 2 chits and take the better of the 2. No, it's going to be Asp. She's proven the more effective ranged combatant. It's going to be the Asp. Okay, so I draw 2 chits for Asp and take the better of the 2. In this case, we want her to go first, so she's going to take the 2. I'm putting that 3 back, shaking it up. Now I'm going to draw for Thor. Oh boy, drew a 5 for him. So that's not good for Thor. Sidewinder, meanwhile, he goes on 1. He knew something we didn't. Puff Adder, he goes on 4. And finally, knocked back through the jungle, but not out. Rattler, way back on the corner of the board there. All right. So we have our marching orders. Sidewinder, eyes on the prize. He is going to once again make that target number 13 check. Remember, he needs to collect 6 result levels on this mind check. You know what? He's going to use one of his personal fate on this one. I'm going to mark that off. This is important. So he uses a personal fate point. And that's +2 to this roll. So he's a total of +3. No dice. 5, 6, 9. Not good. This is a cosmic puzzle that he cannot make heads or tail of, at least right now. Next up is Asp, benefiting from his superior command, Sidewinder's superior command. She lithely moves into position and targets Thor again with another one of her blasts. So she has a paralysis ability, but she's going to stick with, since Thor is hurt, she's going to try to pile on and get it again. So she has a shoot of +3. Thor has a dodge of +2. We'll see what happens. Okay, Thor did not roll well. He got an 8, 10. Meanwhile, Asp got a 10, 14, 17. So she beats Thor by 7. Remember, one of the points is unsavable. We'll file that away. So she beats Thor by 7. +2 damage makes it 9. -2 instead of -3. Thor takes 7 more. And he is down from 13 to 6. Goodness gracious. All right, I know who Thor's attacking next. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So next up is Puff Adder. He is going to. He can't get. Well, let's see if I get him to right here. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna try his limited ranged attack on Thor. His poison cowl attack. Thor's really taking it on the chin from these serpent-like attacks that he's suffering. So Puff Adder has a shoot of only +1. Thor's dodge is +2. Alright, so. And this is only an ongoing damage ability. It doesn't do any physical damage unless Thor fails his check. Oh boy. Well, double bonus, baby, for Puff Adder. So that's 16, 17 for Puff. And Thor also got the double bonus, so he's going to actually take 2 less damage if this winds up being damaged. So that'll negate the damage bonus from that. So that's 12, 14, 16 for Thor. So Puff beats him by 1. So Thor is potentially poisoned. So it's an ongoing damage effect. So when Thor activates, he is going to have to resist a target number 11. He's going to have to make a body check against a target number 11. I'm going to note that on his TN11 body check. Or Puff Adder's poison will begin to work on him. That may be the least of his problems, though. He's getting hammered here. So Rattler's going to rush forward. 6, 3 more, 9. Try to get back in the fight. Was beneficial for Thor to get him out of there. Thor's going to go. He's going to turn his attention to the beautiful and extremely dangerous Asp and try and take her out. So Thor has a fight of +4. Asp has a dodge of +3. She's a dancer and very agile, so maybe she can get out of the way here. We'll see what happens. Thor's going to throw his last fate in. That last from that. He's got a fate of his own, but that was the last extra fate that he earned from the subplot in this one. And that will. I'm gonna say that's gonna force Asp's hand. She's gonna use one of her 3 fate. One thing minor characters have over major characters is they've got more fate going on. So they can certainly affect the game in different ways once a major character is exhausted. But we'll see what the dice say here. Not much for Thor, I'll tell you. He's just going to miss. We don't even need to do the math on that one. We'll do it, though. 7 + 4 is 11. She gets an 11, 14, 17. Easily gets out of the way. All right. Things are getting down to cases, as they say. We have our 5 chits. I believe this is round 3. We're going to draw for Thor first. See what we can do here. 3, it's better than 5, Thor. Asp, 2. Asp is quickly becoming Thor's nemesis in this battle. Puff Adder, he goes on 4. Sidewinder goes on 5. And that means our number 1 contender is Rattler. And Rattler's he's gonna run to get into range, I think, because from 6, if he was here, 6 inches, 12 inches, no, yeah, he's gonna be short, so he's got to run. He'll be in range next round. Once again, Thor's knockback, hugely beneficial. Meanwhile, Asp, same as before, he's gonna blast Thor. Thor's gonna do his best to defend. And Thor does this time. He's got a 9. Hang on. No, I don't think he does. Let's do the math. Thor has a 9, 11 on his dodge check. And Asp has a 7, 8, 11 on her shoot check. So, in a case of a tie, defenders win ties. So Thor buys himself a break there. And he's going to once again target Asp with a fighting check. But first he has to make that target number 11 poison check, body check. Thor has a formidable body of +4. Easily makes it. No problems. Asp's poison is no problem for Thor now, but let's see if he can do any damage to the Asp. Well, I think that's the break that Thor needed in this one because he got a 9, 10, 14. Asp got a paltry, so let me write that, 14 for Thor, and versus Asp has a 4, 5, 8 with her agility. I'm going to throw another fate point in. If you throw a fate point in after it adds +1, I'm just going to try to limit the damage a little bit. So that's her second fate point used. So that actually makes her have, that effectively makes this a 4, 5, 6 +3 for her dodge is a 9. And what did we say Thor had? So Asp has a 9, and Thor has 14. So he beats her by 5 and does +4 damage. That's 9. The Asp does not have any damage resistance at all, so she takes the full 9 points. Goes from 15 to 6. And Thor is going to knock her back as well. Get out of here. So he's going to knock her back again to the edge of the board. And she needs to make a body check versus target number 13. And she gets a 4, a 9, and what is her body? A 10. Nope. She takes 3 more damage from the knockback as well. So that's pretty hellacious on her. So she is now at 3 health. So Thor's starting to dish it out. Meanwhile, I'm actually going to say we need. Let's see. Death Adder needs, or Puff Adder needs to get up there and do some. He's got to slug it out with Thor somehow. So we're gonna say that he is going to start to scrabble up there, and we'll say he's going to get there next round. Thor's content to sit up there and hurl Mjolnir for his 12 inches. And, okay, so now Sidewinder is going to try to figure out this puzzle again. He has a +1 mine. He's going to use another fate point here. So this gets him a +3. His target numbers are 13. Ugh, dice are unkind to him. 7, 8, 11. Not enough. He hasn't even scratched the surface of this puzzle. Okay, well, they must sally on. And it's a new round. All right. Here we are. Chits are back in the bag. Drawing for initiative. Last time, I believe we drew first for Thor. I think this is round 4. So now we're going to draw first for Sidewinder. He gets a 4. Next up is Thor. Oh boy, how many times have I drawn the 5 for Thor? That means Puff Adder's probably going to get a shot at him. Puff Adder's a 1. This ought to be interesting. Let's see here. Asp is a 2. And finally, Rattler is a 3. Okay. So Puff Adder's a 1. This strategically actually may not work out for the Serpent Society, but because he's going to climb up there and try to melee Thor in his own element. Thor's dodge is a +2, and Puff Adder's fight is a +3, so he's got a slight advantage. He is sensing the moment. He's going to throw a fate point in, and you know what? Thor senses the moment too, and he's going to use his one and only fate point. So they cancel each other out. So it's +3 fight for Puff Adder, +2 dodge for Thor. Oh, goodness, what an interesting dice roll sequence that was. Thor is going to fight Puff Adder off what seemed like a formidable attack with apparent ease, with a 17, 19, the Puff Adder's 11, 12, 15. So yeah, Thor really fights him off with his hammer. The big serpent can't lay a glove on him. And whittling down the numbers, I think, is the more important thing here for Thor, but he can't worry about that right now. It's not his turn. Asp gets up. That costs her an inch of movement, and she's going to gamely move back into the fray, charging 8 inches. And let's see, Rattler's going to move over into position, but firing into a melee, he's got a 50-50 shot at hitting Puff Adder, and he doesn't want to do that, so he's going to have to just hold off here. And he's hoping Puff Adder can knock Thor off of their next round. Meanwhile, Oh, you know what we'll do instead? Rattler's we're gonna move in, and he'll try to work on the puzzle. Why not? He's no genius, but he can't do any worse than Sidewinder has. So let's see what he gets. Rattler's also got a +1 mind. How about that? He gets a 13, 14. So he collects one of the result levels that the Serpents need of 6. I'm marking that down. 1 of 6 on their goal to unlocking this MacGuffin. Let's see what Sidewinder can do, building on that. He gets an 8, a 9, a 10. Not enough, not enough. So, finally, Thor and Puff Adder go at it again. This time, Thor on the offensive. And Thor is going to use his +4 fight. Nothing fancy here. And Adder is going to use his +2 dodge. So Thor's got 4, Adder's got 2. What do we got here? What do we got? Thor has 9, 11, 15. To Adder's 6, 12, 14. Thor beats him by 1. Now, Puff Adder is going to use it. He's going to spend a fate point after the fact to add +1. And that makes it a tie. And that's his second fate point spent. He ties Thor. So Thor actually doesn't hit him. How about that? That's what fate can do for you. But now the Serpents are quickly running out of fate. They're a couple of them are down to 1. So we'll see how this plays out. Thorn really needed to knock him off of there. All right, so this is turn 5. Not sure who we drew first for. I think we drew first for the Serpents last time around. So, or no, we drew first. Yeah, we drew first for. Yeah, we'll give it to Thor this time. Oh, Thor is number 1. That's a huge benefit for him. He really needed that. Let's see what Puff Adder is. Puff Adder's 4. Okay. So, well, we know Puff is 4. We'll just put this 4 chip right here to represent Puff Adder. Next up is the Asp. 3, 5, and 2 for Sidewinder. All right, Thor goes. Same as before. He's going to try to lay into Puff Adder. Both of them with rather paltry dice rolls, but it may play out in Thor's favor as he is the better fighter versus dodge here. So Thor got a 5, 7, +4 for his fight is 11. And Puff got a 5, 6, 8. So Thor beats him by 3. Puff Adder's not going to waste a fate on this. He knows he's going to take it. So +4 for the damage makes 7. Puff Adder does have he does have density increase, but I forgot to activate it. So it's not on right now, which is significant. So Puff Adder he takes 15 to 14. He takes 5. He takes 5 damage. More importantly, he is going to be knocked back 15 inches. And he's going to have to make a body check. Or suffer a little more damage. Target number 13 body check here for Puff. 8, 11. He's going to be fine. 14. So he is on his feet and unhurt by the fall, but he goes from 17 starting health down to 12. He is the most, besides Sidewinder, the most hale and hearty member of the Serpent Society. So that was Thor's rather productive number 1 go there. All right. Sidewinder is going to try to solve this puzzle on number 2. Fails again. That leaves Thor's nemesis, the Asp, comes up. She's going to target him again. +3 versus +2. We'll see here. I don't know. This could be bad for Thor. Thor gets a 7, 8, 10. Asp gets a 6, 8, 11. She beats him by 1. +2 is 3 damage. 1 unsable. Thor only takes 1 damage out of that one. But he goes from 6 to 5. All right. I want to spend that special action to get Thor a so he can reset his powers, because he has abilities that can help him here, but at the same time, it's tough when it's 4-on-1. So now Rattler's going to go, and he's going to try to solve this puzzle a little further. And he gets a 9, 11, 12, not enough. So the Serpents are only one toward their goal. All right, so now we're round 6. I'm going to draw first for the Serpents this round. Take this, and oh yeah. Oh, Puff should have gone on 4. I skipped him. He is going to move forward 9 inches, try to clamber back into the battle. All right. And you know what he's also doing is he's going to use a free action to activate density increase. So actually doing that is going to limit his movement. So he's actually back here. When you're dense, you're slower. Serpents go first. Asp. Thor. Thor's number 1 again. Excellent for Thor. Rattler. Sidewinder. And finally gets 4 again. Thor's going to try to take out the wily Asp. +4 versus +3. So no dice. That's a 10. That's a 13. That's a 5, 6. The Thor doesn't do it. Not enough, Thor. Thanks for trying. All right, Sidewinder. Let's figure this puzzle out, Sidewinder. He does not figure it out. He is no closer. He's done. He's done. Asp is going to go. She's going to spend her final fate to get a +2 to bring her shoot from +3 to +5 versus Thor's dodge at +2. This could be the finishing strike on Thor. This very well could be. 10, 14. So she got a 14, 17. And Thor has 6, 7, 9. 17 minus 9 is 8. Thor only has 5 health left. Even with his, remember, one of those damage from Asp is unsavable due to her poison ability. So yeah, Thor is going to go down. Thor has been smitten by the Asp. And so now, at their leisure, the Serpent Society can figure out this puzzle. So that's 8, 9, 11, 12. He's going to trundle over here. So at this point, the Serpent Society will assume that they figured this out between all the fate they have left and the time now, the leisure of time, now that they've managed to KO Thor with foul poison. So yeah, that is the conclusion of this little skirmish. 1 major character against 4 minor characters. You got a good idea of how the mechanics work, the dice system, the initiative chits, things like that. And hopefully I can do another one of these further on in this process to let you folks see how things are progressing. And appreciate you watching, and hope to see you on the 4 Color Studios Facebook page. Take care. Thanks. Bye.